So I'm ready. My tablecloth is done, and I'm ready to make my burger. I will need a coffee filter, a piece of light brown paper, a piece of dark brown paper, and a black crayon. Our first job is to decide how big we want our burger to be. So we will need our light brown piece of paper, and you can decide if you want your burger bun to be pretty wide or if you want it to be pretty tall. So you decide and turn your paper the direction you want it to go, either pretty wide or pretty tall. I'm going to go with wide. Then I'm going to draw a line to make the bottom bun, just straight across. This part will be the bottom bun. Then I need to make a line like a curving rainbow arch to make the top bun. There we go. Now I can take my scissors and cut out my bun. I can throw away my scrap. I don't need this. Now that I have my burger top and bottom, I can glue the top on my paper. I want to glue the top way up at the top of my paper. I could even glue it sticking off my paper a little bit, but a little bit on is fine. I'm going to use glue stick because this is a smooth paper. So open your glue stick, twist up a little bit, put the glue on the side with the crayon, then flip it over, rub and stick down. Twist my glue stick back down below the surface and push that cap all the way on so there's no gap. Now I'm ready to make a plate for my burger bottom to sit on because we don't want our burger just to sit on the table. That would look really funny. So we need a plate. So we are going to use a coffee filter to make a plate. Right now it looks like a real paper plate because it's big and round. But when you see a plate sitting on a table, we don't usually see the whole plate. So we have to take our coffee filter and fold it in half. It's a little tricky to fold round things, but if you find the edge of it, you can line it up with the other edge, hold it down, slide your fingers to the fold, and then slide your fingers along to put a crease. But when I put this on here, it looks really big, especially underneath my bun. So I'm going to leave my burger bun on here. Notice how I'm holding it. And I'm going to cut next to the edge of the plate to just make my plate a little bit smaller. There we go. Now my plate is a little smaller. And if I've got little raggedy edges, I can cut those too. All right, so there's my plate. Now I can see more of my beautiful tablecloth. And I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to use glue stick to stick it down, but I'm going to have to glue both layers. So I'm going to do the first one, and the flat side matches the flat side of the table. And then I'm going to open it up and then push that flat side down. And now I'm ready to glue my bottom bun. Glue goes on the side with the crayon. And I can go as far down that plate as I want to. Close my glue stick when I'm done. Now it's time to make the patty for my burger. I'm going to take this paper and turn it into a burger patty. But right now, this does not match the texture of a burger. Buns are usually pretty smooth, but burgers are made out of meat or beans or tofu maybe, but it doesn't feel like this. It doesn't look like this. We have to change this. That's usually a bumpy texture. How can we change this flat paper to be bumpy? Did you say crinkle it up? Because you're totally right. We got to crinkle it up. Ta-da! Now I have a crinkly texture paper. But unless we're going to Wendy's, burgers don't have square corners. So I'm going to curve my corners to cut them off. Curve the corner. Curve the corner. Curve the corner. And I'm going to add some grill marks with my black crayon. And this time, because my paper is bumpy, we are going to use white glue. Twist the white glue open. Turn it upside down, give it a little shake. Dot, dot, not a lot. 3 dots is plenty for this little piece of paper. Magic glue rub if you got any on your finger. Flip over and glue and hold your burger patty on. I have chosen a few texture things to add to my burger for my toppings. I might have something that could be cheese, something that might be lettuce, something that might be ketchup, or maybe pickles, or an egg, or maybe mayonnaise. There's lots of different things people like to put on their burgers. And maybe sesame seeds, I don't know. You can decide what things are for your burger, but let me show you how to glue each of these things. Because most of the time, when we have textured things, we need to put glue so that we can stick them down. White glue works really well for things that are textured. So if you're going to do something like tissue paper, you'll want to put the glue on the paper where you want it to go. So I'm going to put some dots of glue where I want my tissue paper to go, and then hold it down in the shape I want it to be. For something like fabric, you want to put the glue on the fabric so that you have enough. Then turn it over and glue your cheese down. Press and hold. For something like yarn, for this one, you're going to draw a line of glue. I'm going to do a fancy wiggle line so that my ketchup looks fancy. And then I'm going to carefully stick my yarn into my line of glue. And if it's a little too long for the yarn that I have, I can wipe away the extra. Yes, I'll end up with some glue on my fingers, but magic glue rub and it disappears. For something like a cotton ball, you'd want to spread it out. This is actually too much. Someone else could use that part. I'm going to spread this part out to make like some mayo for my bun. But I don't want it to cover up my ketchup, so I'm going to be careful. For these little things, I'm not going to put glue on those things because sometimes that gets really messy. I can put a little dot where I want it to go and then stick the thing onto that spot. When lifting this up, these pieces are not dried on there yet. They will fall off if I wiggle my paper and I bend it as I carry it. So now that I'm done putting all of my things on, I could go get more things, or I could choose to be done. If I'm done, I need to pick up my paper carefully, keep it flat, and then carry it to the drying rack so it can dry with all these things in place. Remember, if you bend your paper, some of these things might start popping off. So go slow and be careful and put it on the drying rack when you are done.